Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a supernatural horror film, Zero. Spoilers ahead, watch out and take care. The movie begins with a narration talking about the beginning of time with Adam and Eve. However, a devil snake tempted them into eating the forbidden fruit, and it triggered human evolution as a form of punishment. At the present day, we see a couple, Bala and Priya, getting married. They move into a new flat and meet their neighbor for a chat. One day, the couple notices a seemingly weird and bearded man at the store named Psychic, so Bala goes to talk to him. However, Psychic says that he's completely fine and is just talking to his dead wife who's next to him. This confuses Bala, but Psychic simply walks away with his non-existent wife. Regardless, Bala and Priya exit the store, but they are stopped when the security guard catches Priya with a stolen lipstick in her purse. Bala tries to handle the situation, but Priya gets triggered and starts hurling insults at the guard for no reason. A tense argument follows, before Priya throws money at the guard and says something unspeakable, so she and Bala are sent away from the store. The couple goes back home, and Bala notices that his dad is there, so he asks Priya to come along, but she ignores him and walks away. Now Bala jokes around with his dad, but he maintains that he doesn't want to meet Priya. The neighbor goes to meet Priya, who is also reluctant to meet his dad because she doesn't like him at all. It's revealed that there's tension between Priya and her father-in-law because Bala chose to marry Priya over a girl that dad had chosen for him. Priya tells the neighbor about her own mother, who had passed away giving birth to her. Priya's mom had gone crazy during her pregnancy, and it led to some complications with Priya. Dad assumes that Priya will also go crazy if she gets pregnant, but she reveals that she's unable to give birth to a child. Later at night, Priya cuddles next to Bala and apologizes to him for her behavior at the store and also for ignoring his dad. Then they go to sleep. However, Priya has a vision of her mom, who asks her about what happened at the store. It turns out that Priya had intentionally stolen the lipstick because she likes the color pink and also the thrill of stealing. After her confession, Priya is transported to an open haven, which she explores in her dream. But in the real world, she's sleepwalking out of the house and onto the road. There, Priya meets other ghost ladies, and her mom says this is a safe space for such women. She continues to explore the area and spots a mystical cloud above her. Her mom tells her that she can also stay there if she wants, but then Priya comes back home and wakes up. In the morning, she tells Bala about what happened, but he's fast asleep like a pig, so she wakes him up with her hot mug of coffee. She starts working in the kitchen, but the utensils keep falling to the floor, no matter how many times she picks them up. Priya starts to worry when she hears the sound of utensils falling again, but finds them on the table and not on the floor. Priya thinks back to her own mom experiencing the same occurrences, and then the neighbor shows up and points out that Priya is wearing lipstick, even though she doesn't know when she did this. The neighbor mentions that her exotic fish has gone missing, and Priya instinctively checks her purse to find the fish's dead body. This shocks the neighbor, who walks away in sadness despite Priya saying she's innocent. Bala finally wakes up and asks Priya why she's wearing lipstick, but she quickly changes her tone, and even the lipstick vanishes from her lips. Priya later goes to the temple and prays to God to cure her of her sickness. Bala comes to pick her up and asks her what's going on, but she says she's fine. Bala then cheers her up and suggests some shopping. The couple comes back home, but Priya starts panicking because she can see a giant white snake in front of her. Bala can't see anything, so he worries for Priya, but she says that this is her way of pranking him. Bala doesn't believe her and is shown to be right, because Priya can actually see a devil snake that opens its mouth and flexes its juicy tongue to scare her. The devil snake slithers away, and Bala tries to trick Priya by saying he can also see it. However, she knows that he's testing her, so she rushes away to her room. She has another vision with her mom, so she talks about what she's experiencing. Her mom tries to explain that she's better off there in this haven, but then Priya is found again in the middle of her sleepwalking on the road, and Bala is trying to wake her up. Priya's mom tells her to stay, but Bala snaps her out of the trance and tries to take her back home. Priya gets emotional and makes Bala promise never to leave her. Then she takes him home and makes him open a closet filled with all kinds of pink items stolen by her. Priya breaks into tears from her crocodile eyes, so Bala reassures her that she's all right and he'll never let go of her. The couple sits together, and Bala takes her to a trip down memory lane where he mentions how he felt when he saw her for the first time. Bala starts to care for Priya, and things seem to be getting better. But one day, Priya starts hearing a deafening sound and is plagued by the pain it's causing her. A painful sequence follows, and Priya falls to the ground because of the sound. She even tumbles down the stairs and starts to bleed, so she pulls out some scissors to cut her ears to stop the pain. The sound suddenly stops, so Priya walks around to see who's behind this. She's suddenly approached by a being that tells her to join the Haven of Ghost Ladies. Priya almost gives into temptation and walks towards the being, but then she stops herself and says that she can't leave Bala alone. This prompts the being to show her giant eye to intimidate Priya. Bala manages to break into the room, but finds Priya motionless in front of them. He consoles her and looks at the window, but the giant eye has disappeared by now. Bala tries his best to help Priya recover, but she doesn't even respond when he shouts into her ears. Suddenly, the doorbell rings, and Bala runs away in fear. He asks Priya to keep him hidden from sight. She gets confused, but opens the door regardless. She's shocked to see that the person behind the door is actually Bala. She's more confused when she sees the other Bala trying to avoid him. Priya loses her mind and faints when she sees multiple Bala clones showing up. She wakes up to see Bala with her, but then she gets a call from the real Bala and panics. Priya gets surrounded by Bala clones once more and loses her sanity. She starts throwing a tantrum and swings a knife aimlessly at the clones. After a brief chat with Psychic on his way home, Bala finds the house completely in shambles. He locates Priya standing in front of him, so he tries to approach her, but she stabs him while screaming that he shouldn't touch her. Bala falls to the ground as he's been stabbed in the heart, and that's when Priya wakes up to see what she's done. Later, Psychic investigates a house for ghosts, as he is shown to have an all-seeing pair of eyes. He gets ridiculed by the homeowner because he doesn't believe in God. However, Psychic calls him out for cheating on his wife because he's able to sense the affair simply by using his smelly but sensitive beard and by touching items such as the hair. Back to Priya, she finds herself under the care of her mom in the Haven and says that she won't go back to the real world anymore. She becomes a ghost zombie in this world and roams around with the other ghosts. In the real world, Priya is now a semi-catatonic patient who doesn't respond to her doctors. Bala is shown to have survived the stab, but refuses his dad's advice to leave Priya for another woman. Dad walks away in anger, and then Priya seemingly responds to a pink light on the ceiling. She then starts crawling on the wall as if she's a spider pig, and this makes the doctor panic. However, when Bala enters the room, Priya is back in her chair with the bowl. The doctor tells Bala that Priya is someone else now and can't be helped. Bala takes Priya home and tries his driving prank on her again, but the tables are turned as she takes control of the car and crashes it into a truck. Dad comes to the scene and notices Bala's bloody hand falling out of the car seat. He fears the worst, but Psychic shows up and reassures him that Bala is alive. This prompts Dad to break through the cop line and have Bala rescued from the car. Time passes by, and Priya becomes worse as she kills a group of stray dogs. Psychic has a chat with his dead wife and tells her about coming across the pile of dead dogs. He fears something ominous coming soon, but gets distracted when a priest approaches him. Bala wakes up from his coma and asks Dad about Priya, but he says that she wasn't found at the scene of the accident. Despite his injuries, Bala forces Dad to give him the car keys so that he can go looking for Priya. Bala reaches home and finds Priya sat on the floor. However, he learns that she has now been possessed by a demon girl named Lilith. Bala confronts Lilith and asks to see his wife, but then the devil snake arrives and shoos him away with its juicy tongue. Now, the devil snake tells Lilith that she should focus on her upcoming mission to begin a new universe, which will commence in a few days. He also warns her against touching Bala, because Bala and Priya are revealed to be lovers from over 7 births, and their love is stronger than Lilith. However, Lilith shows arrogance and tells the devil snake that she'll succeed in her mission. Later, Bala goes to the security guard that Priya had abused earlier and learns that she had stolen more things from the store after the incident. Bala asks the guard if he can help him find Psychic, but gets slapped for being too intrusive. He carries on with his search for Psychic, but to no avail. Now it's time to carry out the devil's mission, so Lilith goes on top of a building and uses her demon powers to change the color of the sky. Everyone panics upon seeing this, and a tense sequence follows as Lilith tries to unite the Haven world with the real world. This causes both Priya and Bala to suffer from the phenomenon. However, Lilith gets interrupted by some kids and decides to play a game of throwing the ball, but without the ball. Meanwhile, Psychic finds Bala and decides to help him out. He enters Bala's house and starts to challenge Lilith by breaking her stolen items. This prompts Lilith to reveal herself to Psychic, and they get into a brief war of words. Lilith establishes dominance by controlling Psychic's heartbeat with her demon powers. She forces him to take off his glasses. Then she reveals that she's actually the first woman who was created by God for Adam. We learn that Lilith started to get selfish and wanted to live her life her way. This caused arguments between her and Adam, and even God, which led God to curse Lilith with a dead womb. God then created Eve as a substitute for Lilith, so Lilith tried to have her own baby with the devil, who is revealed to be the devil snake as well. However, the curse prevented her from having any children with him. This led Lilith to become a vengeful demon. Psychic is spared by Lilith so that he can go to the priests and tell them everything he just learned. It's hard for them to believe what Psychic is saying, but he goes on to explain that Lilith is making women like Priya, her mom, and the ghost ladies suffer as an act of revenge against God because she kills the unborn babies inside these women's wombs. But Bala doesn't understand why his wife is a target because she's unable to bear a child. Psychic explains that Priya is the only child who survived Lilith's torture, as her mom was able to give birth to her despite being a target. He says this might be why Priya is being used as a host, and then he calls a team of super priests to help him exorcise Lilith. Bala hopes to get his wife back in his life, but Psychic knows that she's dead, and getting rid of Lilith isn't going to bring her back. With 6 hours left before the apocalypse, Psychic and the team notice people jumping off buildings and killing themselves. The bodies start to pile up, so Psychic and the group unite inside a building to stop Lilith. A random man runs towards them, but Lilith appears and kills the man before she confronts the team. The super priests begin their exorcism and try to take her down, but it's of no use as Lilith is way too powerful for them. She turns off the lights and kills the super priests one after the other without mercy. With no other option, Psychic and Bala run to the building roof, but Lilith follows their smell like a GPS gadget. Psychic tries his best to provoke Lilith, but Bala gets in the way and orders Lilith to leave his wife's body. Amused and furious, Lilith chokes Bala, but since she touches him, it causes Priya to awaken inside the haven. Lilith starts to feel the pain, as Bala finds himself in a memory back to when he had seen Priya for the first time. A montage of happy memories follows, as Priya regains consciousness, and the haven crumbles around her. Lilith lets go of Bala's throat, and then he drags Priya out of her control. The couple is happily reunited, but Lilith decides to unleash her powers upon them. But time suddenly freezes, and God shows up. He sends Lilith away to the skies with a simple touch, and then he vanishes after showing Bala a flash of flight. Now, Priya feels something inside her, so Psychic explains that she's pregnant with God's child, just like Mother Mary. This is revealed to be the reason why Lilith wanted to take over Priya's body in the first place, to have her own child with God. All seems well now that Lilith is dead, but the movie ends with the devil snake showing up in his human form to carry out his mission the right way. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.